Hey guys, it's Kevin, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to challenge myself by using an iPad as my only mobile computer.
What you doing on your computer?
What's a computer?
iPads are getting closer to becoming computer replacements. The latest iPad Pro has an M1 chip, the same chip used in the Mac, and the 12.9-inch iPad Pro has a mini LED display. That's better than most notebooks. So, can an iPad replace my computer? Yes and no. Let me explain. This is the iPad Pro I've been using. It's the 11-inch iPad Pro in space gray, Wi-Fi only, and 256GB of storage. You can try this challenge with any iPad. The iPad Air, iPad mini, doesn't need to be an iPad Pro or an iPad at all. So this is a 2018 model. I never upgraded because every 11-inch iPad Pro since then had a spec bump or additional camera that I don't really need. Maybe this year if it has a mini LED display like the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. I originally wanted to try this challenge with the 12.9-inch model since it's closer to the size with my 14-inch MacBook Pro, but I found it too chunky to use and less portable than the 11-inch. My plan for this challenge was to do the same key things that I normally do with my MacBook Pro and move it to the iPad Pro. So for me, those key things are browsing the web, social media, reading and replying to emails, listening to music, watching videos, editing photos, and writing scripts, and that's it. But if I want to get work done and meet my deadlines, then I'll use a real computer. This challenge has its pros and cons, and here are my findings. The iPad Pro is more fun to use. The thin and metal design and flat edges make it comfortable to hold. And the weight is evenly distributed, so you can literally balance it on one finger. The 120Hz display and Apple Pencil support is just fun. I also game more on an iPad than my MacBook Pro. It doesn't feel right using a trackpad for touch-based games, but maybe it's just me. The most used iPad accessory is a Magic Keyboard. I'll leave a link to this and everything else I mentioned in the description box below. It makes the iPad look more computer-ish with the backlit keyboard and trackpad. So the top part is full of magnets, so it aligns to the iPad perfectly every time. You can hold it upside down and the iPad won't fall out. It's made out of this silicone material and there's a long metal hinge with a USB port for charging only. To use this, you open it up until it locks into this position, then the top part opens even further so you can adjust it even more. Align the iPad Pro to the keyboard via the magnets and you're done. And the iPad floats above the keyboard. This is powered via the smart connector and you never need to charge it or pair it. The trackpad is kinda small but it's still nice, and the whole thing physically clicks. The USB port on the Magic Keyboard charges the iPad Pro and frees up the port on the iPad for another accessory. Even though this combination is like a computer, the ergonomics and software are not. If you don't have the Magic Keyboard, then you need to prop up the iPad with one hand and type with the other. Then you'll get arm fatigue. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of touchscreen computers. The iPad does have the iPhone keyboard if you do that pinch gesture, but I found it useful just for short and quick messages. Another downside is a single USB port on the iPad Pro, so I had to carry an SD card reader. I can go from the SD card on my Sony camera to the SD card reader, then to my iPad Pro. So this iPad and Magic Keyboard combination is heavy. The iPad Pro weighs 462 grams, and the Magic Keyboard weighs 630 grams for a combined weight of 1,092 grams, around 2.4 pounds. It's also difficult to open with one hand like a normal Mac notebook. It's top heavy too, so if you're at a desk, then it won't fall over. But if you're using it on your lap, then there's a chance that it will. That's why Apple made the Magic Keyboard so heavy, to counter the weight of the iPad. There's no function row, so if you need to adjust the display or keyboard brightness or volume, you need to touch the screen. You can remap a key to be an escape key. I chose the caps lock. iPadOS has improved over the years, but it's still not the same as using macOS. There's no true multitasking, it's either split screen or split view, no windows. If I had music playing while I was writing a script and I wanted to skip to the next song, then I need to switch to the app or use Control Center. A Mac notebook has a dedicated key for that. And external monitor support on an iPad is just... yeah. There's also a bit of a learning curve with this keyboard. On a Mac, I use Command Q to quit an app and Command W to close a window, but they don't work here. iPadOS does have keyboard cheat sheet if you hold Command in any app, and there's no Pro apps like Final Cut Pro or Logic Pro. So the cheapest Mac notebook you can buy right now is the MacBook Air at $999. And if you want an iPad with a similar screen size, performance, and storage with the Magic Keyboard, then it'll cost $1,548. If I had to pick one, then I'd choose the MacBook Air. It has better battery life, pro apps, and real multitasking. Did I learn a lot from this challenge? Yes. Would I do it again?
No!
Overall, an iPad can be a computer replacement for basic things, but for me, it won't be replacing my Mac. It'll be a companion. And that's it for my iPad only challenge. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!